Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chuck. So today is Friday, November 6th, 2020, and it is the week of the election. So a lot still going on today. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this episode of Coffee with Chuck. We don't have a guest this week. Next week, November 13th, we have Eileen Hawley, who worked in the public affairs office, actually was director of public affairs for NASA. And she's done some other very interesting things, including teaching at the University of Kansas, crisis communications and other communications classes. So I'm really looking forward to having Eileen at 9:30 on November 13th. That will be a live edition of Coffee with Chuck. I know some of you students who have class in the afternoon haven't been able to participate in our live discussions. I'm very aware of that and will plan on scheduling some afternoon episodes of Coffee with Chuck with live guests, so you have an opportunity to participate in that type of show as well. What I wanted to say this week, and this is really, I think, an important, I don't know that it's a skill, but certainly an important concept to understand and embrace, in my view. And you've all probably heard the phrase, don't burn a bridge. I think that's really important to know in an employment situation, but certainly in a personal friendship situation as well, or acquaintance. I was on Facebook, and I think many of you will agree that social media can be a wonderful thing and it can be a horrible thing. But I was on Facebook earlier this week, and one of my Facebook friends, and I would consider this person a friend. We went to college together, and so, we've kept in touch. But anyway, this person on Facebook said, if you voted for this candidate, unfriend me. And if I find out you voted for this candidate, I will unfriend you. And I thought, well, first of all, I had voted for the candidate this person said they didn't want their friends to vote for. And I thought, is that more important than our friendship? So personally, it hurt a little bit because there's history there. I get it if you don't really know. You have friends on Facebook that you don't really know, probably, but they sent you a friend request or whatever, and you confirmed, and because you had mutual friends or whatever. And I have a lot of those. I mean, I have a lot of those, but this is somebody that I actually have history with. And anyway, so again, personally, it didn't devastate me at all. But anyway, I decided, well, I'm not going to unfriend this person. And if they choose to unfriend me, that's fine. And nothing will probably ever become of that. But what it got me to thinking about was the opportunities I may have missed out on if I would have burned a bridge or unfriended someone or something like that. Because I'm older, and I've been doing what I'm doing, or at least I've been around a while. I've met a lot of people, and earlier in my career, I was involved in politics and government, and so that happened to be a kind of a partisan political thing. So I would meet people, whether they were interns or maybe even people that were in the different party, you're working for an opponent or, whatever. But I always try, and I fail, certainly, but I always try to treat people like I want to be treated, regardless of, where they are, what they're doing. That's the way I was raised. So there have been numerous interns that have worked for me that obviously went on, graduated, and then they were in legislative leadership or they were in other positions where eventually in life they could actually help me. So I had an opportunity to help them nurture their careers early on. And this is people of the other party too. There are many times when I was in a position just because I had contacts with people in the other party where I would help young people that were looking for an opportunity to get that opportunity, knowing full well that, we didn't agree on certain things, but that's not what I focused on. I tried to focus on more of the personal stuff. Well, in trying to help them, ultimately there was a real life situation not too long ago where one of those interns on the other side of the aisle was actually in a senior position um, in the governor's office that was able to help us JAG-K, out of a situation. And again, it just goes back to don't burn bridges. There may be a time when you're working with someone that 10 years down the road may be able to help you with a position. So treat everyone well. You never know. You should treat everyone well anyway. And I've talked about this many times. So if you've heard this before, I apologize. I'm not trying to bore you, but it's really, I think, the key to being successful and happy in life. And that is treat people the way you want to be treated, because it's the right thing to do, but it also may help you later in life. So don't burn a bridge. Don't leave a job, on bad, uh, in a way that you will not be welcome again in that company, or if that person is in a different company and hiring, that it could come back and hurt you later. It's just always better to try to maintain relationships and end things well. So, getting back to Facebook, be careful what you write. Occasionally you may post something you don't think anything of it. It wasn't intended to be received the way it was. I know I've been guilty of that, even just recently, in posting something that my point was something else, and it was perceived by others as trying to push an agenda or do something. So, we all make mistakes, and you can't control how people are going to perceive things. But generally speaking, treat people the way you want to be treated. And hopefully that's that you want to be treated well. Don't burn a bridge, and try to make the world a better place at the end of the day than when you woke up. So I know that seems simple. If we all did it, I think everything would be a little bit better. There'd be a little less anxiety in the world, probably a lot less hate, and we can all do our little part. So that's the end of today's episode. Hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoy your coffee.